Hello. Welcome to South Beach. You guys excited? I thought it was going to be a little bit warmer down here. How many of you thought that? I was outside. I was like, it's freezing out. I thought it was going to be sunny and nice and warm. But I'm happy that we're here. How many of you are happy to be here? Now, how many platinum senior vice presidents do we have in the audience? That's right. Everyone's hand should be raised. How many platinum senior vice presidents do we have? Great. Well, I'm excited because you guys are here to learn today about prospecting. And prospecting is such a big part of our business. You know, it's really how we build our organization, our company. And you take a look at some of the companies that are out there. You take a look at businesses. Take a look at small businesses as well as large businesses. They have companies that have maybe about 2 to 3 or 5 employees. And then you have companies that have about 100 or 1,000 employees. How many of you would agree that a company that has maybe 100 to 1,000 employees, basically they bring in more revenue and make more money than someone that maybe has 2 to 5? Can we agree on that? And so when you're talking about building your business, you know, a lot of times people pay their money to come into Filings, and what they really don't understand is that they've just invested in their own business. And this is a real business, and you can actually build it to this multi-million-dollar empire. How does that sound? It sounds good, doesn't it? But we have to agree that it's going to take more than 2 to 3 people in your business in order for you to build it to that level. Is that correct? And so when you're thinking about building your organization and having success and making that kind of money that you want to make, it's really about getting the right people on your team, isn't it? Yes. Am I right about that? Yes. How many of you feel like maybe you don't have all the right people on your team just of yet? A lot of you. Well, you know, when I think about all the leaders in my organization, like Mr. Marty Wynn and Stan Richards and Barry Johnson and Miss Apostle Norbert Simmons, what I think about, and I call them my golden nuggets. Does that sound good? Yeah. What do you think about when you think of golden nuggets? It's like mining, looking for gold. Have you ever seen someone mining before? What happens? Sometimes they could be out there, they're in the sun, they're sweating, they're working hard. They could be out there for maybe hours or days or months or sometimes years before they find that gold. But they have this vision in what they see, and they know at the end of the day when they find that gold, what happens? Their lives change. They're rich, right? And so in Filings, what happens is you're finding and you're looking for your what? Your gold, your golden nuggets. And so what happens is a lot of times, a lot of us, we give up. Before you find your gold, you know, you get a little frustrated. Maybe, you know, you're sweating, you're working hard, and you can't find exactly what you're looking for. Does anyone ever feel that frustration? But I'm here to tell you today is that it's completely worth it to keep looking. Because my story, I started in Filings 3 years ago. And what I want you to understand is that in life, you got to really understand this. And sometimes people don't understand this. You put a little work into Filings. You talk to a few people and you're like, oh, it's not working. No one's being receptive. But when you look at these senior vice presidents and you look at the success and the money that they're making, what you don't see is what happened in the beginning. A lot of you think that our story is a lot different than yours. That all of a sudden we just, you know, we came upon success. And I just want you to know that that could be further from the truth. I know my story in Filings. When I started, I had a 5-year-old little boy. And I was a wife. I was also working full time. And I remember, you know, night after night, finding people, bringing them to the meeting, people telling me no. You know, now is not the good time. I don't have the money. How many of you have heard these excuses? How many of you are tired of hearing these excuses? And only thing I could think of is what I really wanted to get out of the business. What I really wanted. How many of you have really sat down and thought about what you wanted to get out of the business? I remember telling my husband, I said, honey, I can envision it. Sometimes you got to envision things before they actually happen. And I remember living in a townhome and telling my husband, honey, I want a house with double staircases. And I remember him looking at me and saying, do you have double staircase money? And I said, no. I said, but one day we'll have it. And we own that home today. My new vision, I tell them, I want an indoor pool. I want an outdoor pool. I want a tennis court. Can I play tennis? No. I want a boat. I said, I want a yacht. My husband's like, what do you want with the yacht? I said, I don't know. I just want one. See, sometimes our dreams aren't big enough. Sometimes the only thing you're dreaming about is maybe just to make what you make on your job. I would just like to make what I make on my job just so I could quit it. And then that way I could just stay home. How many of you just think that? Sometimes that's as far as you go. But what I want you to know is in order for you to build this business in 5 Links, that you have to have a larger vision of yourself. You have to want more for yourself than it seems possible. Because a lot of times we just think, oh, you know, maybe that's not for a person like me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to have all of those things. Maybe I haven't paid my dues enough to get those things in life. But prospecting is really, and building your 5 Links businesses, going out there, putting the work, and looking for the right people. But how many of you can agree you got to know what to say to these people when you find them? Some of you, do you ever feel like maybe I just don't know what to say when I see people? Maybe I don't know the right words. Well, I want to give you one advice. One thing that you can do in order to find the right words is you can just keep using words until you find the right ones. I know one thing that I used to practice. I used to go out and talk to people. I said, okay, I had to build up the courage. How many of you feel like, you know, it's that fear that's holding you back from talking to people because you don't know what to say? And so I'm building up this courage. I said, all right, I'm going to try this one out. I'm going to go over and I'm going to talk to this person. And I go over and I completely stumble on my words. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking all this stuff about 5 Links. And then afterwards I was like, oh, goodness, I blew it. I said, you know what? But I'll just try again the next time. Now I know what not to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what I want to do is before I get completely into the training, I want to have a little fun because prospecting should be fun. How many of you agree with that? You know, 5 Links, you're building this multi-million-dollar business. If you can't have fun while you're doing it, then what is the point? Sometimes we associate pain with our business, don't we? You go out and you just freeze up and you're like, I don't want to get in front of the room. I don't want to talk to people. It's all this pain and this fear, but I want to show you how to really have fun. How many of you like having fun? So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game. It's called 5 Links American Idol. How many of you ever saw that TV show? So you've seen that show with, who's on that show? Simon is the most popular one, right? And you got Randy, you got Paula, and then you have the singers, right? Well, instead of singing, because I know most of you, you know, if you could sing, you probably wouldn't be here. So what we're going to do, instead of singing, we're going to do some prospecting. How many of you feel like you're pretty good prospectors? You can go out, you can talk to people, kind of get them interested in taking a look at 5 Links. Anybody ever feel like that? We have like about 8, 9 people. Okay, so how many of you like having fun though? Let's pick 3 people. Who would like to have a little fun on the stage? Okay, we got Mike. I need a female. Okay, come on up, you're close. And then I need one more person. Come on up, we get 2 females. Now, this is the thing. How many of you have ever heard of your elevator speech? Have you ever heard of that? You know, you have this business or this idea, and you're in the elevator with a multi-million-dollar person to help fund your business. And you have 1 minute to basically tell them why they should invest in your business. How many of you have your 5 Links elevator speech ready? Do any of you have that? Okay, well, that's one thing you want to prepare before you leave here. I want you to go back to your hotels, and I want you to really to think about, if I had 1 minute and I ran into my Tupac, or I ran into my Marty Wynn, or I ran into my Apostle Simmons, if I ran into these people, my Steve Carter, my Barry Donaldson, what would I say? How would I tell them about my business? Did you guys ever think about that? You always got to be prepared when it comes to business. So we have these 3 people that are going to be our contestants. And then we have our guests. We have, who's our guests? Randy, Paula, and Simon. So let's get the music. Let's get the music. Come on up, guys. All right. So we have Mr. Simon Cowell, who we all love, right? So be prepared. We have Miss Paula Abdul, and we have Randy here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give each person a different situation, and what I want them to do is I'm the prospect, and the only thing I want them to do is I want them to get me interested in 5 links. Does that seem hard? Well, you guys got to get prepared, right? Because when you leave here this weekend, that's your job, is to go out and do what? Prospect. So we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to just, let me get you a mic. And so this is the first situation. You're going to be contestant number 1. So the first situation is this. How many times have you ever been in the mall? This is probably for more women, right? You've been in the mall and you run into someone or you've been out anywhere and you run into someone that you went to school with. How many people has that ever happened to? A lot of people. So this is the scenario. I'm in the mall and I'm just shopping. And we went to school together and you run into me. I want you to kind of talk to me, but you have 1 minute to get me convinced and being interested in the 5 links. Okay, so who's going to time it? You got to watch? Okay, starting now, okay, I'm shopping.
Tishina, is that you?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how are you? How you been?
I'm doing good. Hey, give me a hug.
Oh, you look good. Like the hair, the outfit. What's been going on with you?
Not much. No, I just had a little boy and, just working.
Okay, working hard.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to make a full-time income but on a part-time basis?
I already make a full-time income.
But on a part-time basis? Because I've just gotten into something really interesting, something I'm really excited about. And I'd like to invite you to come and take a look at it.
This one of them pyramid things?
No, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. I think you really need to take some time and take a look at it.
Are you sure?
I'm excited about it. It is really changing my life. I think it can change
What
yours.
is it?
Just come on out. Come on out. It'll only be a few minutes. It won't take much of your time. It'll be well worth your time.
Come out to what?
Come out and, take a look at the information. Come out and take a look at the information.
So
Trust
busy.
me.
You know how busy I am? I have
Everyone's
2 kids.
Busy. Everyone's
I know.
busy. But this is going to give you an opportunity to have more time for your kids.
Oh, okay.
Just take a few minutes out of your day, and it'll be well worth it.
I'll think about it. You ever hear that?
Yeah.
I'll think about it. Okay, good job. Let's give her a round of applause. Okay, so we have our judges. We're always going to start on this end, right?
I don't know, dog. I mean, hey. I mean, I'm down with the ladies and stuff, right? But I don't know. I didn't hear her give you a lot of information and really incite you about getting out there. So, I think if I was her, I'd be working a little bit harder on giving you something to really pique your interest, make you excited about it.
Oh, okay. What do you think, Paula?
Well, Randy, I agree with you, but I'm on the fence. I'm not really quite sure.
Okay.
I don't know. Can I have some time to think about that?
Sure.
Let me see what Simon has to say.
Oh, hell no. You hugged her in the beginning like she smelled. I don't understand. You smell good to me.
Thank you.
But it's up to them. I don't know.
Okay. All right, well, let's do it. They're critical, aren't they? Woo! I guess we know how those people feel, right? Okay, so what we want to do is we want to do another scenario. So we've done the mall. What we're going to do is the grocery store. How many of you are ever in the grocery store and you see people you want to talk to? Maybe they're dressed nice, they're sharp, and you're like, Dad, what do I say to that person while I'm in the grocery store? You just have a few, like that 1 to 2 minute time span, right? Okay, so contestant number 2. Tell us your name.
Jennifer.
Jennifer? Yes. Okay, Jennifer, your situation is I'm in the grocery store and you're behind me. And you're just going to talk to me while we're waiting in line and, I'm bagging my stuff, okay?
Okay.
So you don't know me.
Great.
You ever run into people you don't know?
Yeah.
And you want to tell them about 5 links? So that's the scenario. You don't know me and you want to kind of come talk to me more about 5 links. Okay? So this is the aisle. I'm going to put my stuff in from my cart.
Excuse me, can you pass me the little thing to separate the groceries, please?
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that is a really nice outfit. Where did you get that from?
Oh, you know, I was shopping and I got it from Tyson's Corner.
Tyson's Corner? Mm-hmm. You live near there? That's kind of far from here.
I do, actually. I live like right about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Do you work out there as well?
No, I work, actually, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do anything to help with the income, or do you need a little extra shopping money or anything like that?
Do I do anything to help with my income?
Yeah, I mean, you do all the work, I'm sure, taking care of the house.
Oh, yes, I do.
That.
I take care of the kids.
I know, that's a lot of work.
Oh, it's just so much work. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about. But
my husband takes care of everything.
He takes care of everything.
Mm-hmm. He does pretty well for himself.
That's great.
Oh, thanks.
So, let me ask you this, and this is just something off the top of my head. If there was something that came along that could make your husband's income plus more, would you be willing to take a look at that? Because you look like a person who's sharp, who knows about business.
Oh, thank you. I do know a little bit about business. I used to work in corporate America, but I decided to kind of, you know, relax and take time off.
Well, here, let me give you my card and this magazine, and you just take a look at it and tell me what you think.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Wasn't that easy, was it? Okay, we got Randy first.
I don't know, dog. It's getting worse and worse each time. I didn't know she was trying to...
What do you think she could have done maybe a little better to close the deal?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, dog. You know, if somebody walked up to me and started asking me questions about my personal life and my income, I'd be kind of offended by it. How you going to compliment me in one breath and tell me I look good and what I'm... Well, you know, dog, you just don't do that, right? And then in the next breath ask me if I'm doing something for my income. Don't it look like I'm doing something for my income?
Okay. Take, what do you think, Paula?
Well, I think she kind of was a little slow in giving you a little bit of information. I like the part that she gave you the magazine at the end and told you to, you know, let her know.
Too nice.
Well, you're not just not mean. Look, y'all just need to leave me alone and let me deal with this myself, okay? Well, what do you think, Simon? I know you're going to criticize.
I didn't know if she was trying to take you home or get you to a meeting. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Listen, here's the thing. She gave you a card and she gave you a magazine. She looked you up and down as you look delicious. I didn't know what she wanted. Well, maybe they are my thoughts, but I'm the judge and I make the decisions.
So critical, so critical. Okay, well, one thing you always want to do, and this is something I want to point out, is that never give someone your information without getting their information. That's like the most important thing. And the best way to get their information is really just to have, I get a little book. I always go and get it from Target. It costs about 99 cents. I always keep it in my purse, and whenever I meet people, I just fill up the book. I always get their email address and their phone number, and what I do is I use online letterhead. So when I get home within 24 hours, I just follow up with them by just sending them a quick email. It was nice meeting you the other day in the market. You know, you look like a successful businesswoman. You know, I'm looking to put some businesswomen together. Maybe you can help me out with that if you know anyone, businesswomen that are also interested in, being entrepreneurs. You know, always take a look at the person and think about, when I always talk to women, let me tell you some things that I say, and you want to write some of this information down. Because I always kind of think about the person before I actually tell them or give them the whole prospecting script. And so if I was in that market and I'm talking to her and the lady looks nice, I would say, you know what I'm doing right now in the area is we're working with a lot of business entrepreneurs. You know, have you ever thought about going into business for yourself? Oh, yeah, maybe I thought about doing something like that on the side. Well, you know what? We're working with a lot of women. Why don't I get your information and I can send you something where we're helping a lot of women actually take that step into entrepreneurship. Doesn't that make sense? You know, so you're not maybe offending them right off. You're just getting their information, and I'll follow up with you on a later date. But I want you to kind of, maybe you can come out and take a look at what it is that we're doing and kind of sticking together. Think about the person. You know, if I'm talking to a man, maybe it's a little different. You know, obviously I'm not going to say, you know, we're putting women together and there's women business entrepreneurs, you know, what do you think about that? Obviously it's going to be a different conversation. Maybe we have a lot of successful men in the business that I do. We have some people that are, you know, doctors and lawyers, and we also have a lot of entertainers that do boxing promotions and club promotions. Have you heard of this person? Well, why don't you come down? I've worked with a lot of people on different levels, and it might be something that you would be interested in. Does that make sense? Now, not only can you do this, not only can I do it, but you can also do it, because you don't have to have the experience. There's this saying out there that says, fake it till you make it. You guys know that? And so when I was building my business, maybe I didn't say I'm doing it, but you know what? This is what we're all trying to do. We're trying to get these people together. So you're trying to kind of play with your words. You just change things around so that you're not saying false information. You're just letting them know this is what's going on. It might be something that you would be interested in. Does that make sense? Okay, so the last situation is for the man. And how many of you, when you go into a convention, you go to like Miami, or we came from Kansas City, and you're in these cabs and you always are trying to recruit the cab driver? You ever do that? And so I'm going to be the cab driver, and Michael here is going to be the person trying to prospect me and talk to me about five links. You have 1 minute, Michael. So let's come on over here. You can move your chair over so I can see you a little bit. Sneaky person. You know how people are in cabs.
So it's great weather we're having today.
Hola.
Hola. Sí, señorita. Me hablo Miguel.
Ah. Hola.
Ah, no comprende, huh?
Sí.
Oh, interesting. So I guess you like driving for a living.
Sí, yes.
A lot of money?
It's pretty good.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm asking is because I see that you're having trouble with the wheel, and I think maybe you might want to take a look at another opportunity.
Doing what?
See, that's the thing. I don't have enough time to talk to you about it, so maybe we need to set up a meeting. Because obviously you're driving and you need to stay focused on the road.
See?
See? So what I like to do is get some information from you. I'm married, you're married. It's not about that thing, but it is about the money.
You can give me your information.
See, that's the problem. I don't keep cards on me because people really don't pay attention to them.
I don't like giving out my information.
Okay, that's fair. So you would miss an opportunity because you're skeptical.
What opportunity?
That's the thing. We need to sit down and talk.
Okay. I don't know if I really know you.
Well, we could go to a public place, a Starbucks, Books A Million or whatever. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm talking to somebody. Let me call you back. As I was saying, I'm sorry. I don't like to be rude. But I would say to you is it's a great opportunity and you need to take a look.
Okay. Can you leave me some information?
Sure, I can leave you this.
Gracias.
That has my information and we can talk.
What is this?
Reading is fundamental.
What is this?
But if we sit down, we can talk.
This video phone?
I think we should sit down before you wreck.
I will have my husband look at it.
No problemo.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias. De nada.
Now that's my dog. No, I think Mike was persistent, but not overwhelming or overbearing. He gave you enough information. He presented the issue or subject of money. He didn't really go into what the opportunity was, just enough to pique your interest. He was obviously a language barrier, but he, yeah. But you know, dog. You're my dog. You handle it. All right?
Paula, what do you think?
I don't agree, Randy. I really don't agree. I think that he...
Since when have you had an opinion?
I have an opinion today. Well, I just think that he got caught up in trying to get her information instead of just giving her his information to begin with when she said she wasn't comfortable with giving her information out. So I think that, he did a pretty good job, but I think it was too long.
I did say, in the defense, I'm married, you married. It's not about that.
No, I understand, and I'm sure she understood too. But I don't think she was comfortable with it anyway, because a lot of married men don't care.
That's right, Paula.
I care. I didn't know, Mike, if you was going to try to get her home to do something freaky, or you was just trying to downgrade her driving experience.
Stay on the subject.
I'm on the subject, Paula. Sit back for a minute. Now, here's the thing, Mike. I understand you speak Spanish. But,
Spanglish.
Oh, just a little, Spanglish. Okay, just a little. But she was driving, and you told her pretty much that her job was crap. And then you told her that at the end of the day, you want her to come out. You didn't have any business cards to give her. And then you gave her a peeking card without, you said you did have your information, right? But what true businessman doesn't have a business card? Right? You don't know her. You're trying to set a meeting up. Listen to me, Mike. You're trying to set a meeting up with her, and yet she don't know you at a Starbucks. No, Mike.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you, guys. Can we get some more music? You guys can have a seat. I'm going to talk a little bit about the last situation. You guys too. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone. The round of applause for the contestants as well as the judges. In that last scenario, one thing you always want to be mindful of is that every situation is different. Can we agree? And so when you're talking to sometimes people, one thing you want to do is sometimes you got to pick them just a little bit on what it is that your business is, because if not, they're just looking at you like, I have no idea what you're talking about. You don't want to give me any information. I don't know who you are. And the perfect thing in that situation was I spoke Spanish. What is that, a key in or a tie? What should you tie in that situation? Yeah, voice over IP. The great thing is that what? You could take this product, with you. Do you have any family members where are you from? That should have been the first question. I would have said, where are you from? Oh, great. Okay, you're there. Oh, I have some business partners over there in, Guatemala. And, okay, so how often do you call them? Ask questions like that, because that's probably something that's going to get her what? Interested. Well, I can't call them that much because maybe, it costs a lot of money. Yeah, I know. A lot of people in my company, they have that same problem. And what we have is a solution for them, something that can help them to save some money. You ever think about saving some money and maybe being able to talk to your family members and friends unlimited for $24.95 a month? You have that? Yeah, let me show you our product, and then give them that P card. Have you ever used anything like this? What are you currently using now? Maybe get more information on them, because that's how you can kind of tie into that person, because they speak another language or they're from another country. And this product is great for international people. Do you guys understand that? And so when we talk about prospecting, we want to get a little bit more into the training. One of the things I want you to do, I want you to write this information down. The first thing you need to do when you leave here is you need to create a list of people that you know. Now, the most important thing when you're creating this list, and what we get caught up on, is going into our cell phone, taking out the numbers, and then putting them on paper. That is not something I want you to stop at, because you don't stop at your cell phone. What you want to do is you want to go into the back office and you want to download one of those memory joggers. They're perfect for thinking about people that's not necessarily in your phone. You're going to have people that maybe you get your hair done by. Maybe you get your clothes cleaned at a certain dry cleaner every, once a month. Maybe you have the person that sold you your home, or the person that maybe cleaned your home. These are the type of people. If they do business with, I feel like if people do business with me and I give them my business, guess what? They should also do business with me. Do you guys feel like that as well? And so those people might not be in your phone, but you need to still put them on your list. Now, we have this thing. It says, those you think will, won't. And those you think won't, will. So those you think can, can't, and those you think can't, can. How many of you have been in Fivelings long enough to know that this is so true? How many of you always are like, you know what, if I can get this person in my business would take off. And then as soon as they come in, they don't even get qualified. And you're sitting there looking like they have all this potential. Because in Fivelings, it's more than just that. They have to have the vision for themselves. You can't have the vision for them. Does that make sense? Now, who are you looking for? I know when I got started in the Fivelings, I went to all my friends that I thought needed the opportunity. Why? Because they needed something to make money. I knew that they needed something to change their lives. But those are not the people that you want to look for. Because sometimes when you need things or you need the business that bad, there's a reason why you're in that situation. And the reason could be this: you don't have a good work ethic. So you want to look for people who have a what? A good work ethic. You want to look for people that are what? Hungry. And you want to look for people that have a high integrity. And business integrity means a lot, because just because you're successful and you don't have an integrity, your business could crumble as soon as it builds. Does that make sense? Not only that, somebody that has personal power. What does personal power mean? It means somebody that just has that energy. They walk into a room and people turn around. They respect them. They know them. And they're those people that know everyone else. You know those people? Now, we're talking about piquing interest. Your goal is just to get someone to be interested, to get a yes. Do not explain the opportunity. Now, when we looked at the third situation with Mike. He didn't have to explain his opportunity. He was really explaining his what? His product. You guys see that? And so that's not the same thing as explaining your opportunity. Because sometimes explaining your product, you're not always trying to get someone into your business. How many customers do you need to get to platinum? 25 personal customers. And some of you haven't hit that level. So sometimes you're always still looking for ways of getting more customers. And then sometimes a customer can be a tie-in to a business partner because they're on the service. They see that it works. And then you can get them tied in after they've used the product. So don't always think that everyone is just out there to be a business partner. There are some people that are out there also to be your customer. Now, your goal is to keep your prospect curious. Just give them a little information. You don't want to overfill them. Some of you go out there and you just throw up all over people. We're in this thing called Fivelings. Let me tell you, you can make a lot of money only for $500. You get Bentleys, you get BMWs. I'm telling you, get checks for $127,000 with just $500. You're like throwing up all over them. And so just make sure that when you say things, you don't say too much. You say just enough. How many of you remember when you first got started? You had that passion, right? You guys remember that passion, or no? None of you had passion? Did you have that energy? I remember I would call my friends and I said, girl, this is what the prospecting said. Listen, what if I said this to my friend? Hi, Nakia, do you keep your business options open for multiple streams of income? My girlfriend would have been looking at me like, girl, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Do you feel okay? And so you got to understand is that each person that you talk to is just a little different. You talk to them different. I don't read scripts to someone that's very close to me. Does that make sense? Even in the beginning, that conversation went a little like this. Hey, Nakia, how are you? She said, hey, what's going on? I said, girl, listen, let me tell you something. We are going to be rich. I want you to be at the meeting at the Hyatt on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Matter of fact, you know what? Get there at 6:30 because you are not going to want to miss this. Girl, what are you talking about? What is this about? You will see when you get there. See, when I get there, well, what is it about? I can't tell you everything. I don't know everything. When the people get there, they're going to explain to you. I just know, don't be late. All right, okay. And she's probably thinking like, what is going on? But she can sense the excitement in my voice. It's a little different from when you call and I just say, hey, so what you doing on Thursday? Oh, I'm not doing much. Oh, okay, I want you to come out to something. It's at like 7:30. It's at the Hampton. You think you can come? Oh, yeah, I'll see if I can get there. What happens when they say that? They're not coming. If you don't know that by now, please get to know it. Because whenever a person says, oh, you know, I think I can make it, or I'll see, or, oh, you know what, I'll try and see if I can come out. What happens? They never show up. And so what I said to him, okay, I don't need you to try. I need you to be there. Promise me you're going to be there. I need you there early. Okay? So you got to listen to people's words and their commitment that they're making to you. Because that's the reason why you prospect and people don't show up, is because maybe there's no excitement, or maybe you're not getting a definite yes out of them because that's what you need to get. Now you're talking about prospecting and peaking. You know, the scripts are in the back office and they're great, but in my opinion, you need to evaluate every situation, and it has to be easy. You just got to be able to talk to the person and just let them know, I want you to come out and take a look at something that I know a lot of people are making good money in. How many of you can say that? Write it down. I want you to come out and take a look at something that I know people are making really good money in. It's a great business opportunity. It's very simple and to the point, and you can use it on anyone. Now, when you're inviting, one thing you always want to do, and I think the second contestant did a great job at talking about my family and, you know, maybe my occupation, but these are the things you kind of want to bring up: family and occupation and recreation and money. Because that's the best way to get something out of somebody. You know, I run into parents at my kids' school and I say, oh, how's things going? Things are great. Oh, how's the job? Because I see them rushing in and rushing out. Oh, you know, I'm just getting tired. Working every day, I'm tired. You know, yeah, I see you're tired. You know, something I might say is, well, when you slow down a minute, I have something that you might be interested in. And what was the saying? There's a lot of what? There's a lot of people making money in it, and you might be interested in it. So when you have time, let's talk. Is that simple? Is it to the point? Now, even at the senior vice president level, we still don't give everybody all the information. I don't say, listen, I've been in this company 3 years. I make more money in a month than I used to make in a year. We got voice over IP. It only costs $4.99. You would be a fool if you don't get started in this business. Because look what it's done to my life. I never do that. And so it doesn't matter what level you're at. You're still an IMR. You should still treat your business like an IMR. And that means when you prospect, you don't say much. Does it make sense? Now, if you prospect is getting more interested for more information, these are some things that you can do. We have the 3-way calls. We do a live 3-way with your upline leader. And then we also have DVDs. Now, in my opinion, the best thing is the Success from Home magazine. How many of you use the Success from Home magazine? Now, the key with the Success from Home magazine is because they cost money and they're an investment in your business. But one thing you want to do is you just don't want to give it out to everyone. What you want to do is you want to give it to them, but you want them to know, listen, I have some other people that want to take a look at it. You know, this is my last one. Can I get it back from you tomorrow? Will you be able to look at it tonight? That's the most important part, because if not, I've given magazines away, and guess what? People will never look at it if you don't get it back from them. And then when you see them the next day, they say, oh, I forgot about it. And then they wind up losing it or throwing it in the trash. And so the most important thing to do is for you to always get it back. You always want to have urgency. We call in your warm market, we call them your ducks, because there's always one person that you know that will start your business with you. But you have to have passion. The way you duplicate in this business is by bringing people out to briefings, PBRs, using the DVD system. We also have websites where you can go on and take a look at the opportunity, and also conference calls. Now let's summarize some things. One thing you want to do is you want to share this opportunity with everyone. The law is in large numbers, so we have a saying, some will, some won't, so what? Next. What I want you to know is this: at the end of the day, you guys have a vision. You have somewhere you want to go in this company, and you want to get something out of it. Some of you want to quit your job. Some of you love what you do, but you want more money. You want the money to invest in your children. You want the money to buy bigger homes, nicer cars. And we all have this vision, right? But we all don't get what we want out of 5 Links is because you don't have that passion inside. You have to have passion in order to be successful in this company. In order to be a senior vice president, when you leave here this weekend, you have to go out there and I remember sitting in my first national, and they said, you know what? In order for you to get to senior vice president, you got to go through thousands of people. And I took a look at the audience, and the only thing I can envision was myself and going down that aisle and just knocking people out of the way to get to where I wanted to go. How many of you really want 5 Links? How many of you really want to be a senior vice president? I want to encourage you, when you leave here today, it's really about you going through the numbers, not being afraid of talking to people, not being afraid of going out there and just maybe making a mistake, because that's what life is about. You have to make enough mistakes in order for you to get to where you want to go. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? And so when you leave here today, don't be afraid. Go out, go through the numbers, talk to enough people to get to where you want to go, because I'm telling you, there is nothing like it. I live a life where I don't have to worry about whether I get up or not. Do you know what that feels like? How many of you want that for yourself? How many of you really want it? Well, when you're going out there and you're talking to people, I don't want you to be timid, because you got to understand this is the best opportunity out there. And when you're talking to people, they have to know that. They have to be able to feel it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Do you feel what I'm saying? Yes. When you're talking to your prospects, they have to feel you. When I'm talking to people about 5 Links, there's passion behind my voice. There's passion behind my eyes. They know that I know that this works. There's no question in my mind. When you get a check for getting someone qualified, that means that obviously something works. We're not here to tell you the wrong thing. We're here to tell you everything that you need to know in order for you to be successful. Because the minute that you're successful, we're successful. So I want you to make sure when you leave here, you have passion when you're prospecting. That you let people know that this is your dream. This is what you want. How many of you can think about the things that you want right now? How many of you want things for your children? How many of you want to leave behind a legacy? How many of you want to wake up, not when the alarm clock goes off, but when you feel like getting up? Now, it's one thing to say it, but then there's another thing to go out and show that that's what you want. Because how many of you are willing to leave here today, and even before tomorrow ends, you're willing to go out and talk to 50 people in this city to get them to that Friday event? How many of you are willing to do that? Because the proof is in the pudding. It doesn't matter what you say. We'll know at the end of the day what you've done, because it all shows. The computer promotes you. There's nothing in this business. There's no racism, no sexism, no nepotism. There's none of that. It all depends on the person who's willing to put in the work. How many of you are willing to put in the work to get to PSVP? Well, then I can't wait to carry each and every one of you across the stage. I want to thank you for coming out to my training, and I'll see all of you at the top.